In this video, we're going to look at exponential modelling. So one of the main uses of the exponential function is in using it to model real-world situations. This was one of these topics that was sort of reasonably tricky to explain to students a few years ago, sort of what situations could you model. I'm filming this in 2020, and anyone who's kept up with the news will know there's been a great big pandemic. And how did we model the spread of this pandemic? Well, we used exponential models. So you may have seen the term exponential model being used all over the news during 2020 when people were describing the spread of the coronavirus. So there is one very vivid application. So it's very often used to represent diseases spreading. It can be used to model populations growing, populations of animals or bacteria, lots and lots of different things. So my first example is one where I'm talking about a disease spreading. And although it's the numbers I'm using are not exactly the same as from the coronavirus, you will see some connections if you saw any information about that during this time. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so in this question it says, the number of people infected by a disease is modelled using the equation n equals 400 e to the 0.023t, where n is the number of people infected and t is the number of days after the disease is first identified. Interpret the meaning of the value 400. Well, this is a bit of a classic question, and it's always really the same kind of answer. The 400 there is the starting value. Now, the reason it's the starting value is when t equals 0, n would be 400 times e to the 0.023 times 0. So that's just e to the 0. And e to the 0 is 1. So that's 400. So it tells you that when t equals 0, n was 400. So in the context of this question, well, t is the number of days after the disease is first identified. So what we can say is that initially, so initially is a really good word to use in our answers, initially 400 people are identified as having the disease. And this is pretty common in the study of diseases, because very often people only know that a new disease exists because a significant number of people have had it. So you very often don't catch the first person to have it. Show that it takes about a month for the number of people with the disease to double. About a month. So what's that going to be in days? About 30, about 31. If they use the word about, they're going to be flexible about whether you use, 30 days, 31 days. Maybe don't use 28 days or 29 days, just assume it's not February. So let's just say, well, when t equals 30, and you really could use 31, it's not going to make a big difference, n equals 400 e to the power of 0.023 times 30. So what is that? Well, we just key that straight into our calculator, and I'll just remind you or show you how to do that now. Okay, so in my calculator, we go Shift and then this button here to get the e to the power of something. Let's not forget our 400. So 400 e to the 0.023 times 30. So just key it in as you see it, and we get 797. And we could round it, but it's people, so maybe I'll round it to the nearest person. So is 797 when I round it to three significant figures. And that is approximately, it's approximately 400 times 2, isn't it? So therefore, doubles after a month. And the logic there is that it started on 400, and after 30 days it was about 800, which is about double. So yeah, it takes about a month for the number of people with disease to double. Another way we could have thought about this is forget the actual specific values and just look at e to the power of 0.023 times 30, and we'll see it's about 2, and that shows us that each month it would double. Okay, these are often multi-step questions, so let's explore parts C and D. Show that after 3 weeks, the number of people with the disease is increasing at a rate of about 15 people per day. Okay, so the word rate is one of those mathematical buzzwords. The word rate is talking about a derivative, always. Okay, so the rate of increase or the rate of decrease is a derivative. So if it's the rate of people with the disease, that is going to be dn by dt. So it's n on this side, so you're differentiating this with respect to that, so dn by dt. And really it's saying what is the rate of increase, increasing at a rate of increase after 3 weeks. So we need to work out what is the derivative dn by dt when t is 21, because that's the 3 weeks. 21 days is 3 weeks. So let's work this out. So we know that to differentiate an exponential, well, we've still got the 400, that hasn't gone anywhere. And then we need to multiply by the coefficient here. So multiply that by 0.023. And then the exponential bit never ever changes. Okay, that's the kind of the magic of this that allows us to do it. So what is that in total? Well, I'll just work out 400 times 0.023 on my calculator. So we get 9.2 e to the 0.023t. And now when t equals 21, because that's after 3 weeks, we get dn by dt, and I'll just sub that in. So 9.2 times e to the 0.023 times 21. And what do we get? dn by dt equals, we'll key that in, times 9.2 times e to the 0.023 times 21. We get 14.9, which is approximately 15. So therefore, the derivative is 15. So that means that the disease is spreading at a rate of about 15 people per day. So it tells us in practice that after 3 weeks, about 15 people per day are getting it. But as the disease spreads, more people will get it each day. That's kind of at the heart of what exponential growth is. Okay, last part of this question. Explain why this model will not give a reliable result for large values of t. So a common final question. Exponential models never really last forever. They kind of can't, because they're growing so quickly. In the end, I mean, quite frankly, in the case of number of people, I mean, we just run out of people in the end. So that's one reason. I mean, just as a sort of slightly silly example, you know, how many people, according to this model, how many people would have it after 3 years? Well, after 3 years, you'd get n equals 400 e to the power of 0.023, and 3 years is 3 lots of 365. Now, this is going to be, I'm expecting, an absolutely insanely huge number. Okay, it's about 3 times 10 to the 13, so trillions. Okay, so there aren't trillions of people. So the easiest answer here would be something like there are not enough people in the end, or like in the end there would be no more people to get the disease. Not necessarily, I'm not saying they've all died or anything, nothing morbid like that, just if everyone's got it, then no new people get it. There would be no new people to get the disease, since everyone has it. So you feel free to write quite a lot in these. People are often scared in maths to write full sentences, but write a sentence or two, that's fine. Other things you could say, well, you know, there could be a, there could be a vaccine developed. You can get kind of quite specific, or, you know, this question is about number of people with disease, but sometimes it's about population growth, and a common explanation for why populations don't always grow exponentially, or they don't do it in the long run, is that they run out of resources. I mean, just there's a limit sometimes to how big a population can get. All right, let's have a look at another modelling question. Number of bacteria in a Petri dish is modelled, well, that should say modelled there, so there you go, a little typo for you, is modelled using the equation B equals e to the 40e to the minus 0.03 m, where B is the number of bacteria in the dish measured in thousands. Okay, I'm going to underline that because it's a classic thing to just forget, and m is the number of minutes after an antibiotic is added. Okay, so negative power means it's going to be decay, okay, exponential decay. So it's going to be decreasing. That makes sense, right? Because an antibiotic is something that kills bacteria. So this is going to start decreasing once the bacteria is added. Show that dB by dm is kb, where k is a constant to be found. Okay, slightly weird or unusual looking question, but it's asking us for the derivative. So let's just find it. dB by dm is, well, the 40 just stays where it is, and then we multiply by the coefficient there, minus 0.3, and the exponential bit just remains unchanged. Okay, so is that some multiple of b? Well, sure it is. It's just minus 0.03 times b, okay, because it is minus 0.03 times 40e to the minus 0.03 m, and that bit is just b. So it's just minus 0.03 b. So we've differentiated it, and we found that in fact k was minus 0.03. Explain the significance of the sign of k. Well, the sign of k is it's negative. Well, that means that the rate of change of bacteria is negative, i.e. it is decreasing. So we can say the number of bacteria in the dish is decreasing since k is negative, since k is less than 0. So since it's it's always going to be negative, it means the number of bacteria is just going down and down and down. Okay, let's keep going. So show that this model predicts that the antibiotic will have killed all the bacteria in the dish after about 6 hours. Okay, so we've got this about again. So 6 hours in minutes is going to be, well, 6 times 60 is 360. So what does that mean? Well, we can say that, let's use some words. When t equals 360, we're going to have b, the number, oh, it's not t, is it? It's m, isn't it? When m, number of minutes, equals that, b is 40 times e to the minus 0.03 times 360. Key all of that into the calculator, and we get 40 times e to the minus 0.03 times 360. Now we get this, 8.16 times 10 to the minus 4, which is 0.000816. So that's a little bit weird, right? Because that suggests there are effectively no bacteria, but like it's a very small number. But let's not forget that the number of bacteria is being measured in thousands. Okay, so B is measured in thousands. So really, number of bacteria is that number there times 1,000. So number of bacteria is this number here times 1,000. Now what is that? That is 0.816. Now we can see that our model predicts it will drop, the number of bacteria will have dropped below 1. So will it have killed all of the bacteria in the dish after about 6 hours? Well, the model predicts there'll be less than 1 bacteria, so yeah, gone. So we can actually write that. Model predicts less than 1 bacteria. I mean, I think bacteria is plural, so maybe it should be bacterium, but I'm not going to be daft about this. Predicts less than 1 bacteria. So they will be gone. Okay, so that's the sort of thing we're doing when we're using exponentials to model real-world situations. Quite a lot of writing, quite a lot of awkward numbers, but if we can focus on some of the key terms like rate being a derivative and just keep track of what the units are, it's not too bad. All right, that's all for exponential modeling now. I'll see you in the next video.